Hi guys, today another interesting blitz game for you. This game was played between Voltinash, who plays with the black pieces, and Xiaomi, who plays with the white pieces. This was a 5-minute game, and Voltinash is rated 1750, while Xiaomi is rated around 1900. Both solid chess players, and they demonstrated solid chess here. Why am I showing you this game? Well, I'm showing you this game because this is a perfect example of the way you should play blitz chess. You should play attacking, unpredictable, and original. And you should try to surprise and shock your opponent with strong attacks that aren't always easy to spot. That's exactly how Black played in this game. He truly surprised White, and he took his chances, and of course he played some really deep and interesting moves. So let's see what happened. The opening on the board was the Sicilian defense. So we have the Sicilian defense. Now White plays d3. He was maybe expecting e6, but now the first surprise of the game, Black plays d5. White takes, Black takes with the queen, and allows to White to gain a tempo. Now he retreats, White develops his bishop, Black also protects his pawn and opens up his bishop. White develops the other bishop. Now both the players are developing. And now in this position, Stockfish says you should give up your bishop and take this knight and double up Black's pawns. But I understand White for not doing so. Sorry. White rather developed his other knight. Black also developed, and now both players are ready to castle, and in fact so they do. White castles and Black castles. And now White plays queen to d2. Black develops his other bishop, enables White to double up his pawns. And White now attacks this pawn, this weak pawn, 2 times. And how will Black deal with this? Well, it would be foolish to push the pawn, because now you open up this line towards your rook, and eventually this bishop could pin the knight to the rook. So, not the sensible way to continue, but rather Black plays the best move. He simply takes the knight, and now he removes this threat. White retakes with the pawn. Black pushes the pawn. White plays queen to c3. And now Black is blocking the attack towards the c5 pawn. What was the threat? Let's see. Both the queen and the bishop were attacking the pawn. Black played the best way to defend it, blocked it, and put the knight on a great square. And now you cannot take this knight, because if you take it back with the knight, you lose the game. And if you take it back with the bishop, you lose the tempo. And Black is better. So, this knight must stay here for now. And White plays the best move now in the position. He plays knight to g3. And I thought, when seeing this move, that the plan for White is to put his knight on f5 and to trade down one of those bishops Black has, and to put it on a great square. But it didn't quite happen. Black now pushed the pawn to f5. And now, as I was saying, I was expecting something like this, and this would have been the best continuation for White. He should have first taken the knight, and after Black retakes, he could have given this check, and now he would maybe have time to put his knight eventually here on this square. But he didn't play like this. After this pushing of the f-pawn, White replied first by taking the knight, which is fine, but then after Black retook, White didn't give the check, but rather he moved the queen to d3. And this allowed Black to push his f-pawn and to gain further space on the board. So Black did. Black pushed the pawn, gained the tempo, and gained the space. Now he has a strong pawn chain in the middle of the board, and actually, as we can see in this game, Black has more space. And his pieces are much more active, and they're on a nicer squares, because let's look at this bishop. It's blocked with the pawn, this knight must move, these rooks, okay, they're on their principal positions, but the queen is also a bit stuck behind these pawns, and what can white do now? White plays knight to e2, and this is the first surprise for me, as he could have still played this move. I thought this was the plan, because now you simply chop one of black's bishops. Either black takes and then this position occurs on the board, or black allows this knight to stay here and then he loses his dark square bishop if he doesn't move it, and it's a bit awkward to move the dark square bishop anywhere here. So I thought white would play knight to f5, but he played knight to e2. This is the first weird move of the game, but okay. White is still slightly better in this position, so black will do something to change it. He plays a6. Now white pushes c3, trying maybe to open up this line, because his pieces are a bit cramped for now. He's trying to bust up this pawn chain. Black plays the best move, bishop to b5, attacking the queen and forcing white in a way, well, not forcing him, but rather manipulating white to play c4. And what has black achieved? Well, a lot. He just retreated with the bishop, and now white's queen is even more cramped than before. Now her own pawn is in the way, and her movement is really not great. She doesn't have a lot of squares, and white's pieces in general are a bit cramped, and black enjoys the space advantage here. So now white plays rook to c1, and the first really interesting move of the game by black, rook to f6. And this is the move that confused white. White was now scared of the possible threats that exist on this line, and he played king to f1, running away from this, but in this way he only helped black to pursue his attack. Black played rook to h6, continuing with the plan, putting a lot of pressure on this pawn, and white has to defend the pawn. He pushes h3. Now black plays another very interesting move, bishop to d7. What is he doing? He's probably looking down this pawn. Is he gonna sacrifice or something? Well, white was sure that black wouldn't sacrifice. So white played king to e1, another move with the king, so a bit weird. And now black punishes this kind of play by white. Bishop to h3, a sensible sacrifice. Believe it or not, Stockfish says that after white takes the bishop and black takes the pawn, white is only slightly better here. 0.6 up, so nothing special for white, and he has a very awkward position, cramped up, and he must defend accurately if he wants to survive. Maybe this position doesn't look so dangerous to you, but it offers a lot of possibilities for black. Let's see. Now another move with the king by white, so he wanted to move his king from this line here, scared of possible checks in the future. Black proceeded with queen to a5, and now white plays a good move, king to c2, and this is where it looks that the attack probably stopped, but it isn't so. Now comes the favorite move of the game, my favorite move of the game. Black plays d8 with the rook. Maybe this move doesn't look so dangerous to you, but it comes with a big threat, and if white doesn't deal with this threat, he will lose the slight advantage he has at the moment, and actually black will be the one with the advantage. So, sorry for that noise. Here, white must play knight to g1. This is the best move, and Stockfish says you should play this. And why is that? Because you must protect this bishop here. This bishop is protected only by the queen, and now if you move the knight here, you're protecting it twice, and this is very important. Let's see why. White didn't play knight to g1, rather he played rook to h1, hoping to exchange rooks. And now black was really happy because white fell right into his trap. Black played rook takes on f3. Well, can you see it now? Can you see the threat? Queen must take back, and now black has this beautiful check in the game. d3, forking the king and the knight. So now it looks really dangerous for white, and actually it is dangerous, but white can defend here, and white can maybe try to play for a draw, although he's worse in this position. In this position, although black is down the exchange, black is actually the one that is better here, and only with accurate play can white maybe hope for a draw, but if black plays everything perfect, black will win. And now I will show you a variation that didn't occur in the game because white played the losing move here. But I will show you the variation where both players play perfect moves, and you will see what could have happened. It would really be a brilliancy if this did in fact happen in the game. So, the best move for white now is to put his king on d1. And now, black mustn't take the knight, because then he would lose the attack eventually. So, black doesn't take this knight just yet. Rather, black must now play queen to b4. And what will happen next? Let's see. Now, sorry, the knight mustn't move now. That's also important to say, because if you move the knight now as white, you will simply lose the game because black takes this pawn, and how can you protect the rook? Well, you can do this, but then you lose the game. You cannot stop checkmate. So, you cannot move the pawn as white. As white, you must play this move. And what then? What should black play now? Black should play this. Black should play h6, believe it or not. The best move. Stopping any ideas for white, white could have eventually come here with the queen, and then he would threaten the check on this square, and eventually he would have perpetual checks to black's king. So you must prevent this as black. You must prevent the possibility of perpetual checks. So you play h6. And now white, best move for white is rook to h3, believe it or not, attacking this pawn. What now? Bishop to c5. What will white do now? White must sacrifice his knight now, believe it or not. The best move for white, according to Stockfish. Black takes, white must take back. Now, black retreats with the queen, protects the rook, and controls this line with his queen. That's important to stop perpetual checks again. White now plays rook to c1. Black plays queen to g6. Interesting. White attacks the queen. Black has a check. White blocks with the queen. Black moves his queen on e5. So we can see this is a lot of maneuvering going on by black, and a lot of little details that either win you the game or lose you the game, and you must spot it and recognize it on your own. So, white now would have to play this, attack the rook, you can see, from the queen, and now black would play rook up. Another beautiful maneuver, because now black is attacking this pawn, twice. White has to defend it, and black just goes back now, attacking the rook. What happens now? Queen to g3, unbelievable. Is this giving up the rook? Well, not, because you're threatening to trade queens. Okay? So, black now plays queen to d4. And what next? White moves his rook on b1. And this killer move by black now is happening, bishop to b4. This is the winning move for black, and you will see why. Now, queen to g2, you must put your queen on this line. This is very important to prevent future possible checkmates. Why is that? Because black now plays first rook to f7, and after white pushes the pawn, black plays queen to c3, threatening checkmate. You can all see. And now white has to prevent it. And he cannot prevent it in an easy manner. He cannot play this, because then black takes. And he cannot take back with either the queen or the rook, because he gets checkmated, either here or here. So unbelievable stuff. So in this position, white must play pawn to f4. That's the only way to stop checkmate for now. Now, black simply takes this pawn and has further threats. Check with the queen, moving the king. Another check by white, hoping to gain some perpetual checks, but it ain't happening. Black blocks. And this is unbelievable now what happens. You're still threatening the checkmate here. So the white queen must take this pawn to cover this square. There is no other way to do it. So what happens then? The best move for black is to give the check on f1, and now you can see you cannot take back with the queen, because then you get checkmated here on this square, and white must play this move, king to e2. And you can all see now that this is winning for black. Why? Because black takes the queen, white must retake, and now you get this ending when you're up a piece, and black is winning. He also has these two connected passed pawns, and he will win this easily. So, unbelievable stuff. This was the variation that could have occurred if both players played perfect. And both players didn't play like this. Let's go back to the real game. This is a really long variation. Even I got a bit lost in it. But nonetheless, let's go back to the real game. In the real game, white played the losing move. So after queen has taken the rook, now black played check, and white now played the losing move, which is queen takes. So white maybe was so low on time that he didn't have anything else, and he hoped that he can save the game this way. Maybe black was also really low on time, and maybe that was the trump card that white was playing on. So he took with the queen, but now you can all see that black will win this. Black took the queen, white's king took back. Now black pushed b5, trying to either give check here or open up this dangerous line that is now the most important line towards white's king. Now white foolishly took this pawn, which allows black to win the game, and there is nothing you can do. There is nothing more you can do, because black now checked the white's king. He retreated, another check, retreating again, and now you can see that this is over. A beautiful way to finish the game. This was the end. I don't know if white resigned or he went run out of time, but nonetheless he would have lost this, because there is no way for white's king to ever save himself and white. The only square is here, and now you give the check with the bishop. The king must go back, and then you just retreat with the bishop. The king must go back again, and in this position you can then check with the queen, as you can see, and the king goes here, and this is it. Black wins. So in this position white lost the game. The game ended, and I must congratulate black for playing really inspiring chess in this game. I hope you liked it, and I also hope you liked the variation I showed you, because it really shows to all of us that chess is an unpredictable game, and that positions can look winning but actually be losing, and also sometimes you can even be down the exchange but still have a winning position. And I was really amazed by the variation Stockfish showed in this game, and that could have occurred even if white played perfect defense. So Fine win by black. Guys, send me your own games on the email I provided down in the description, and I hope I will hear from you soon. This will be all for now. Bye.